What is up, everybody? My name is The Rose, and this is episode 8, part number 1 of the Game Corner podcast. Happy to have my co-host Cipher back with me after an abysmal episode 7, I think. The guy had a rough week last week, I'm not going to lie. Yeah. So I'm glad he's back. He's got something to tell you guys.
I don't know if I should be like, I'm gay or fuck with you somehow, but anyway, I had food poisoning.
This guy was upchucking all over the house.
It was awful. It was the worst. Also, everybody else from Black Sakura is currently here too. Yay!
Yeah, we got the main fam in the house today.
Yeah.
We got my boy Sean, who is no stranger to my channel.
This is mentioned first. I'm better than all you fucks.
That's fucking co-host. You can eat a bit.
This is his second appearance on the podcast for Sean. Chceck is here, although I don't think he'll say a word, and if he does, I'll ask him, what are you talking about?
Fuck you. Fuck you.
And we got our guy. I'm going to pronounce your name wrong again. Your name is Jocko, right?
Yeah.
He's here, and my buddy Josh. You guys know who Josh is, I think. Well, if you don't, you will now. Maybe. But,
how you doing, everybody?
Cipher, you had a food poisoning story. What happened with that shit?
Okay, here's the fucking story. So, for those of you who don't know, the first time I wasn't on, like, a full episode of this, I had food poisoning. And that was episode, 4?
It was 3 or 4.
Yeah, it was 3 or 4.
I think it was 4, to be honest.
So I'm gonna walk the audience through both of these fucking food poisoning escapades. So the first time, my roommate and I went out to the grocery store. And I bought prepackaged sushi. Which is a fucking bad idea. Now, the worst part is, right, I've gotten food poisoning from this shit before. But they make it and they package it in the grocery store. So I was like, okay, this is fresher than the other stuff that I buy. Because I usually buy it from a different grocery store. Now, the unfortunate part of this is that I ended up getting sick from it. Now, so I wasn't in for episode 3 or 4. But, last one, my roommates got off at 1 a.m. because they both work at a call center. Now, I'm hungry, because lately I've been fucking hungry all the time. I don't know what the deal is. I'm becoming a fat shit even though I'm not putting on any weight. So, I was like, boys, let's go to this. There's a 24-hour Chinese place in town. Let's go there. So we do. And I order seafood Szechuan. Now, I love seafood. Now, first and foremost, it's a $16 plate of Szechuan. It is a complete waste of money, because there's not even, there's like no seafood in it whatsoever. And yet, somehow, the bit of seafood that was actually in it, besides the vegetables, managed to give me food poisoning. Now, when I say we got food poisoning, I mean, like, I was out for, like, the day that it happened, but then I also, because I fucked up my sleep cycle as a result. Then, one of my roommates ended up being put up for 2 days. He called in sick for work 2 days because he was sick. And our third roommate miraculously was fine. I don't know what the fuck they put in the chicken balls, but the chicken balls were apparently fine to eat.
Fuck yeah, chicken balls.
Now, allegedly, this place that we went to is notorious for this shit. You don't go there and order chicken, which is weird because I got sick on shrimp and mussels or scallops or something. But yeah, basically that's why I wasn't around, was because I was sick and then I was sleeping.
Well, you also had your 2 big college tests on Tuesday. What happened with those?
Oh, I dropped out.
Oh, so you didn't even take the tests?
No, fuck no, I dropped out.
Shit, bro. And you were like, I gotta study for these tests, man. Like, I'm not gonna have time to help you.
I just came to the realization that I was like, there's no way in hell I'm gonna study for these in time. This university's not really for me. I'm just gonna say fuck it.
Damn, bro.
Yeah, and it's funny because I even though I just put in my formal request for withdrawal, but I'm still getting emails from my profs that are like, hey, we have another midterm on the 1st of March. It's like, you do.
So, over the weekend, started Friday night. Friday night, my mom had just gotten home from work, and I was waiting for her to come home so I could start up a stream, because for some reason or another, she always likes to bother me as soon as she gets home from work. So I go downstairs, and, I was downstairs for a couple of minutes, talking to her and whatnot. And while I was downstairs, we heard, a single knock on the door, and it was just one knock. That was it. No 2, 3 knocks, like someone's at the door legit. Just one single thud on the door. I heard it. My mom thought she heard it. The dogs heard it because they went fucking ballistic. They started barking like crazy. And we opened the door. There was nobody outside. And Saturday night, nothing happened. And then Sunday night, when my mom got home with my brothers from picking them up from my dad, her car alarm, somebody set off her car alarm twice. And we went outside and we didn't see anybody, but yet her car alarm kept going off. So we're under the impression that somebody's starting to fuck with us for some reason. And we don't know.
God.
We don't know who it is.
Shit, I've been caught.
And God help that person that whenever I do catch them, their ass is grass.
Are you sure it's not God himself trying to fuck with you?
No, I don't think so. But yeah, it was just like something short to share. Wanted to get your opinions on it, to maybe you guys could help me figure out what it could have possibly been. Making those noises and knocking on the door.
Ghosts.
I honestly think that somebody could have been trying to break into your home.
Yeah, that's pretty much me.
I mean, the incident on Sunday night happened at 7 o'clock. So it was fairly early in the evening, but it was dark out because of where I live.
Mm-hmm.
But still, that's pretty early if you're going to try to break into someone's house.
You live in Jersey, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why. Because you live in a shit state.
Yeah, I mean, it depends. But,
Fair enough.
So, Sean, you were telling us something about how your morning routine goes. Why don't you tell us a little bit more about those 5 minutes you spent in the bathroom?
I never said it was in the bathroom. I don't know.
Yeah, he never said it was in the bathroom. He just said that he only had 5 minutes to bust a nut and then he was going to use it.
All right. So it wasn't in the bathroom, but why don't you tell us a little bit more about it?
Oh, boy. You really want me to... It's my first fucking foray, and you want me to fucking go into this shit?
Go for it. Come on, bro.
Alright, so... I work as a stonemason. I know, it's a big boy job. But, every morning, I wake up at... My alarm goes off at 6:10 in the morning, and I leave my house at 6:15. Now, normally, a normal person, take those 5 minutes, get ready, brush your teeth, fucking take a dump, whatever. No, not the way I do it. I wake up, I fucking attempt to bust a nut in the first 5 minutes I'm awake.
Which I might add is pretty hard to do, because I've tried it.
Hence why I say attempt. So I always say, fuck, it's 6:15, I need to go or I'm gonna be late. There has been one occasion that I was almost late to work, but that's not important.
What's your success rate on there?
Criminally lying.
You don't know about that. So, do you want to know my entire fucking day?
You can at least tell us the story you told us about your boss.
Yeah, how many rocks did you try to fuck recently?
Alright, so I have, as anyone who works a job, a boss. And this boss is he's a bit of a weirdo. So every day that me and my two coworkers, one is my brother-in-law, one is not. The one that is not my brother-in-law, our job is a shit post in fucking real life. We're both contemplating who's gonna kill themselves first and who's gonna kill who first, that kind of bullshit. And fucking 7:05 every goddamn day, this motherfucker my boss opens the door. How's it going? Beautiful morning. Fucking that kind of bullshit, you know? The shit you don't want to hear at fucking 7 in the morning.
So you know what he sounds like? He sounds like a mix of, like, the manager guy from Office Space was like, yeah, if you could stay late on Saturday, that'd be great. And, you know South Park, like Big Gay Al? He sounds like a mix of those two characters.
I mean, I'm obviously making it a little more flamboyant than it actually is, but
Well, yeah,
it's not
like...
far off. But anyway, and then he's just such a fucking... He does that shit, and it's 7 in the morning, we're fucking... Me and my coworker are both fucking gamers, so we're up till, like, 3 in the morning anyway, so we got, like, 2 hours of sleep. And we're just, like, not ready for his bullshit. And then fucking... So, one day, as I'm a stonemason, we make countertops and tables and that kind of shit, you know? The fancy shit for the fancy people. The shit I'll never be able to afford because I work a fucking dead-end job. We have a lot of different types of stone we work with, like granite or limestone or whatever. And we have this really nice, expensive piece called Brentwood, which is basically fossilized wood. Like, it looks like wood, but it's stone. It's very nice, very pretty, and very expensive. So my brother-in-law was working on this piece for 2 days. Like, he worked on it for a very long time. It was a hard job, hence why me and my coworker didn't touch it at all, because we're fuck-ups, and we will burn this piece of stone to ash somehow. So, after my brother-in-law is just about to finish it, or he just had finished it, whatever, because you have to polish the top side of Brentwood is polished to keep the look of it. And so, or they put like an epoxy or something. I don't know exactly what they put on it, but they keep it shiny. But the sides and the bottom aren't polished. Well, that specific job wanted the sides rounded and polished. The rounded edge is called a bullnose. It doesn't fucking matter. Anyway, so we had a bullnosed edge and it was polished and it looked nice. Yes, that's what it looks like. I know you people can't see it, but someone posted a picture.
Can we insert that into the podcast? Just like a photo of it?
Sure.
Go for it if you can. But like,
if
there's a picture and you can see it now.
Something.
That's what it looks like.
So
it looks nice. It's very pretty.
No, because I'm in the middle of a podcast at the moment.
The piece, it was like a countertop or something. It was very nice. And my shithead of a fucking manager comes in after we're done complimenting my brother, like, hey, you did a good job. You made it look really good. He comes in, wow, and this is exactly what he fucking sounded like.
Like an Owen Wilson. Wow.
Wow. He was like, wow,
Yours much better.
Yeah, I have my reasons. I practice. Wow, isn't this such a sexy piece? This is such a gorgeous piece. I'd put this in my house. This is so sexy. And me and my coworker are just staring at each other like, what the fuck did he just say?
He wants to fuck the piece.
And so, exactly, he wants to fuck the fucking rock. So me and my coworker have started calling our manager, or boss, whatever the fuck you want to call him, rock fucker.
If you smell!
Like,
Rock
today, for instance, I was working on a countertop to put a sink into. So I had to drill holes into it. And so I call over I call over my coworker. I'm like, hey, do you think this could fit my dick just like it could fit Dave's? I want to fuck rock just like him. Word, verbatim, this is what happened at my job. And let's talk about what happened yesterday. My brother-in-law, he's kind of a dipshit. I mean, I love him, but I hate him. I mean, whatever. It's kind of a thing. And yesterday we had this one super stupid job that we finished today. It took 2 fucking days. This fucking company wanted like 40 pieces of granite, a very hard and difficult stone, cut into small squares and polished to all fuck. That's difficult. So he was using, while me and my coworker were using hand sanders and it was taking fucking eons to finish, he was using the big electrical sander to polish his piece because it was like 7 times bigger than what we had.
But was it a sexy piece?
I mean, it was all fucking black and it looked sick as fuck, so I mean,
Oh,
yeah.
that sounds rad.
It's totally rad, bro.
Fuck you. Don't make it weird.
But after he is done sanding and polishing his piece, I see him with this look in his eye is just like so defeated because he'd been spending hours. He unplugs the thing, and it's a very long extension cord because, you know, why the fuck not? We have a crane in the middle of our workshop because, you know, stone, it's heavy, don't really want to carry that. So he throws the extension cord over the crane. He misses, and it falls back down. He does it again. He gets more of it on there. Excuse me. And it falls down again. He throws it a third time, and he gets more of it on there, and he tries to wiggle it, but it ends up falling in and fucking conks him right in the dome, and he just fucking basically falls on the ground. He's just like, ah, fuck, shit.
Better than it
That was a
crushing
good
your
laugh.
foot.
Fuck that. That's another story for another goddamn day. And the fourth time he throws it up, he finally gets like half of the cord up there. And so he's like, yes! And he jumps on top of the giant table that we used to cut like big slabs of stone. He ties the extension cord into a noose, puts it around his neck, and attempts, or at least pretends, to jump off the table and hang himself. And at that point, I'm like, yeah, I feel. It's fucking 9 o'clock on a Wednesday, not even 9 o'clock. Fucking... My life's a fucking mess. My job's a fucking mess. I deal with weird fucking people.
Dude, try working security on a university campus.
I'll just fucking yell at people, and I'll get fired because I'm just a dick.
Honestly, my previous boss told me that he's only had to fire like 2 people, and it's because one of them showed up to work drunk. Now, the irony in that is that I've gone to work under the influence pretty much every time I've gone to work.
You podcast under the influence every time you come to work.
What?
I said you podcast under the influence every time you come to work.
Goddamn right. Honestly, I'm sober right now because I don't have anything to mix my vodka with.
Holy shit, he's sober, guys. Look out.
I'm the same sober as I am drunk, though.
Pretty much. So with those...
Real quick.
So with those interesting stories, Sean's probably got the best story this time around. Way to debut there, buddy. But with that being said, why don't we finally get into the podcast?
Okay.
Cipher, you wanted to review a video game, fighting game.
Yes, I did.
And quite honestly, I'm really busting for a piss right now, so that'd be a good way for you to start. I'll rejoin you in a couple of minutes. Yeah, I'm gonna mute my mic for a second and start off the podcast with the review, and I'll rejoin you in a couple of minutes.
Alright, so how do you guys feel about Arc System Works?
Oh,
They're pretty good.
Cool. They're pretty cool.
Okay.
Yeah.
Have you guys ever played Melty Blood by French
I've heard
Bread?
about it several. I've heard about it several times.
Okay. Well, French Bread also makes a little game called Under Night and Birth.
I've heard about
And
it.
Under Night and Birth recently received I believe it's the 3rd one recently, called Under Night and Birth EXE Latest. And so, basically, I'm a fighting game nerd. I love anything that ArcSys puts their fucking sticker on.
Yeah.
And I recently bought Fighters, like DB Fighters, right? Last month. So, I was like, okay, cool, I've got some money left over. I'm going to buy Under Night and Birth and see if that's any good. Because a lot of people really like it. Now, so Under Night and Birth is... The actual system mechanics are kind of interesting because you don't actually have a proper dash. you don't really have a proper air dash. Your character just kind of hops. On top of the fact that you know how like in other fighting games there's 4 buttons, there's only 3 in Under Night. Because the 4th button is not an attack. Like your X button on your PS4 controller, which would normally be like drive in BlazBlue, or I think it's
Guilty
kick.
Gear.
I think it's kick in Guilty Gear.
Yeah.
It's like a dash almost, or like a hop. So anyway, that's kind of interesting. It's a little. It takes some getting used to, but it's kind of neat. But otherwise, the game controls about as well as BlazBlue or Guilty Gear, except for one little thing. Now, I don't necessarily know what the deal is, but I found that when I'm doing inputs, the timing is slightly weird. Like in SNK games and in Guilty Gear and in BlazBlue, it's like performing an input, like a quarter circle forward, will almost always register, right? But I found that in Under Night, for whatever reason, if I do it in my combo, it's harder to chain specials into combos. Like, I have to wait almost a second after I see the hit register to do my input and do my special, which is weird. And then even then, half the time what'll happen is if I do, like, quarter circle forward A, instead it will be, I'll end up doing, like, a crouching A. Like a crouching light attack. I like most of the characters that I've tried. I like the system mechanics, but I don't like the input delay. And I don't know if that's just, like, me being used to other fighting games, or if that's an actual, like, a documented issue. Then on top of that, so... ArcSys is famous for having, like, super fucking good tutorials, right?
Yep.
Like, the one in Guilty Gear is really fucking good, and the ones in BlazBlue are, like, they're okay, but they're not great. The ones in Under Night are mostly pretty good. The only problem is that the way they're presented to you is, instead of presenting them to you in an order that explains the system mechanics extremely well, they're displayed by category. So you've got, like, movement, attacks, all this other stuff. And there's like 100 fucking tutorials in this game. But, I mean, you'll learn everything that you need to know about it if you're fucking brand new to fighting games.
Yeah.
However, the issue with this is that because of the way they're presented is the character giving the tutorial, because they're all done by different characters within the game, they will often mention system mechanics that have not been mentioned yet. Like, there's one, and it's like a passing link, which is what they call a combo. And I was like, what the fuck is a passing link? Now, I'm like fucking 30 tutorials in trying to learn this game's system mechanics, and then I finally see, after it's been mentioned in probably every tutorial that I've been in, what the fuck a passing link is.
Yeah, you can always rely on ArcSys to make some random words. Yeah, the Roman cancel from Guilty Gear doesn't make any sense either.
No, but at least they introduce it at a time where it's appropriate to introduce it, and they don't mention it beforehand.
Yeah.
That's my problem, is that, like, I was reading these tutorials, and I feel like a lot of the context is lost without them telling you this is what a passing link is. Because for a while, I was like, fuck, did I miss it? Like, I'm not going to play through the other tutorials that I did just to see what this is. And then I get to the section on attacks, and eventually I reach the one that says passing link, and I'm like, oh, okay, I'm going to learn what this is. It's like, well, the passing link is just when you chain normals together. And I was like, is that it? Like, what the fuck? Can't you just call it a combo like everybody else?
Yeah, like, why do you have to be so pretentious to make it, like, a different fucking
Well,
combo?
in BlazBlue...
It's typical Arc system, man.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Fair.
But in BlazBlue, I think the first one, they call it a revolver chain or some shit like that.
Yeah, what was that again?
In BlazBlue, they call it a revolver chain, but the actual, like, the fighting game terminology for it would be, like, the magic combo. Like, your basic bread and butter, like, these are the standard, like, 3 to 4 hits that you would do.
Like,
okay.
the true
I got
combos.
Yeah. So, like, for example, in Ragna, or in BlazBlue, Ragna's is, like, ABC. And that's usually like a universal combo for most characters in BlazBlue.
I don't even use A because it's got a low reach. I just go straight to B and then go.
That's fair. The way Undernight does it is you can basically chain together normals in any way you so desire, so long as you hit. But you cannot chain the same two normals together. So it's like if I hit an opponent with down A, unless it's a part of the actual combo, like unless it's like, basically unless I'm repeating down A twice, I can't use it again in the same combo. Which is how most fighting games do it, but it's interesting to me that they point it out here. That, like, you will not be able to use it again.
Kind of like the Dragon Ball system in Fighters. How, like, once you use that in a fight, you can't use it again.
Yeah, kind of like that, but it's more of it's like for normal combos though.
Oh, okay.
Like you can't use the same input twice for a combo. Like if I hit an opponent with like square, triangle, circle, I cannot use just square, triangle, or circle anymore. It has to be like a crouching square.
Oh
or
shit!
A crouching triangle or a crouching circle.
That's a unique way of doing combos, though.
Well, that's how most games tend to do it. Like I've noticed in Fighters is one of the few exceptions, but I haven't been playing much of BlazBlue or Guilty Gear lately.
Yeah.
Because for Fighters, it's like I'm playing Goku Black and I'm doing a jumping combo with like it's like light, medium, light, light, and then I jump again, and then I do the same combo, and then end it with a special while I'm in the air.
In Mortal Kombat, some characters are capable of doing that as well.
I haven't played enough MK to make the comparison, to be honest.
Yeah, there are ways, and if you're good enough, like people that are good enough could legitimately like end up making an infinite combo. Like, I'll give you an example. For Mortal Kombat 9, before the first patch came out, I got so good with Scorpion that I ended up figuring out a combo that did like 75% health damage
Jesus.
to my opponent, and they ended up having to patch that combo out because it was unfair.
I see. Some other stuff. So they put all the trimmings in it. Like all the stuff that you would expect out of an Arc Sys game. Like, you've got, like, arcade, story, score attack, time attack, survival versus network play, etc. And there's also a gallery with some, like, really nice illustrations, too. However, the mission mode combos, because of the input delay that I talked about earlier, can be rather difficult to pull off, because specials in particular become a huge pain in the ass to do. There's only one auto combo system, and it's by pressing square repeatedly.
What?
What do you mean, what?
Oh, sorry. I wasn't looking at something on Facebook. Don't worry.
Oh, sorry. I thought you meant for that. Yeah, I was gonna say, like, I'm grateful that there's only one for, given that Fighters has like 3.
Yeah, right. I'm just glad they don't have 4. One for each button.
Imagine if you did a fucking key blast and then it just transitioned into you doing like a Kamehameha.
Yeah, right. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
I mean, technically in Fighters, if you have at least one key bar in your gauge, when you do the auto triangle combo, you actually can combo into a super as long as you have.
Well, you can do the same thing with the square version of that.
So.
But yeah, and the thing about Fighters, I found, like I mentioned in our review, is that there's only really one. There's only really 2 auto combos. There's your square and your triangle. Because if you use the circle one, it's like you're likely to follow up your circle by either super dashing or launching into the air,
right,
or chasing your opponent. So it's not even really an auto combo. It's just like an easy input, so that you don't have to transition to doing the super dash. It just does it for you.
Right.
So I never really consider that to be an auto combo, even though it is. All the trimmings are there. Their story mode is very Arc Sys. Like it's basically just a visual novel. There is no. The way the story mode works, I haven't actually played it in the sense that I've read through it all, because there's like 22 chapters. I skipped through all of it to get the trophy that's associated with it. But apparently, there's no fights in it at all. It's just a visual novel. Now, allegedly, this is because in the first 2 Undernight and Birth games, there is no story mode, and you have to play the arcade mode to get the backstory and to get the story. Now, I gotta be honest, I don't play fighting games for the story modes anymore. Like, I used to play, like... The reason I liked BlazBlue so much is because I thought its story mode was really good. It's not very good.
Well, I searched story mode didn't have a fight. Didn't even have a. We didn't even have a chance to fight on story mode in Guilty Gear this month.
Really? I haven't played the story mode in Guilty Gear.
Yeah, there's no gameplay at all in the story mode. You just look at it for like 5 hours straight. I think 4 or 5 hours. That's it.
And the new
Are there at least, like, choices, like branching paths?
Nope.
Okay, because I was gonna say there's none in Under Night and Birth either.
It's a fucking movie.
Basically, yeah, that's what
super
Under
long
Night is.
cutscene. What's the point?
right.
But what I find kind of interesting is that it's told, not necessarily, it is told kind of out of order. But the way that it is like you complete this character's story and it's 3 chapters long, but then you unlock 2 or 3 other characters' stories and they're like 3 or 4 chapters long. Because each character gets one.
Yeah.
The roster is really good. There's guest characters from, I think it's Blitzkampf, like Akatsuki from Blitzkampf, and the purple-haired girl from Melty Blood is in it as well. And they're actually pretty good. They're well balanced for guest characters. Tekken should be taking notes because fuck, the Tekken guest characters are not balanced well at all.
Well, to be fair, we only got 1 out of 2 so far.
Akuma's not very well balanced, and Geese Howard is not very well balanced in Tekken.
Well, yeah. See, I never considered Akuma a guest character because he was on the launch day roster, I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's true. I guess you could say he is a guest character because he belongs to Street Fighter.
Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, that's my review of it. If I was to say to buy it, I honestly think that if you like fighting games and you like Arc Sys games, you should... I wouldn't say you should wait for a price drop, but you should probably wait for a patch to see if that input problem is fixed. Now, I've looked it up. Apparently, I'm the only person who's experienced this issue thus far. So it's probably just my timing. So, I mean, if that's the case, then it's for you. Like, go buy it. If you like Arc Sys, it's for you. Go buy it.
Yep.
Speaking of patches and Arc Sys and Arc System Works, that won't be the only time we talk about that tonight. But we'll get into that a little bit later. So, how much is this game currently going for?
Let me check on Amazon, because I think it was $80 Canadian.
And it is for PlayStation 4, right?
It's also on PS3 and I think Vita.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's actually currently, according to Amazon.ca, it's $59.99.
So that's probably about 50 US, something like that.
Yeah, and I think it was worth it. Honestly, for that price, it was worth it.
So, there you have it, folks. Sounds like a good fighting game. I'll be honest, Fighters has actually kind of gotten me interested in other Arc Sys fighters, so I may start checking them out again, sometime in the future.
I would recommend Guilty Gear first. Because
First
Guilty
one,
Gear...
Missing Link.
No, I mean, like, I would recommend Guilty Gear XR Rev 2, because the last time it was on sale, it was $26.99. Actually, I don't know how much it is now, but yeah, it was really cheap the last time it was on sale. And it was worth every penny.
Yeah, that game goes on sale a lot, so I'll be able to catch it at some point. But, from game review to political bullshit, I want to get this.
Oh boy.
I want to get this politics bullshit out of the way. A couple stories that came up today that kind of annoyed the shit out of me. Let's start off with the one where Trump is now on the bandwagon for blaming video games for gun violence.
Fuck him.
Why don't you take the reins on this political bullshit there, Cipher?
Oh, God. Okay. So basically, Trump weighed in on the ongoing conversation in gun violence and has partially blamed pop culture, including violent movies and violent video games. His exact quote goes as follows. "We have to do something about maybe what they're seeing and how they're seeing it, and also video games," said Trump, forever eloquent. Forever eloquent. "I'm hearing more and more people say the level of violence in video games is really shaping young people's thoughts."
Bullshit.
Yeah.
It's basically, they believe that it's a response to the mass shooting that occurred in Florida last week.
Yeah.
And Kentucky Governor Matt Bevin has also pointed to violent games in various interviews, and he has said that there are video games that, yes, are listed for mature audiences, but kids play them and everybody knows it, and there's nothing to prevent a child from playing them.
Yes,
that
there
celebrate
is.
the slaughtering of people.
That's why there's strong ESRB ratings, and the parents buy them anyway.
Yep.
See, I brought this up.
Here,
I'm sorry. Just real quick before you continue. I brought this up last episode because I actually did talk about the whole Matt Bevin thing and bringing up the, this whole topic. But now that Trump is weighing in on it, now that it's catching more mainstream attention. But I did mention this last week, and I did say, the ESRB rating board was created for a reason, and it was because of violent video games such as Mortal Kombat and Night Trap like 25 years ago. And, it's up to the parents as to whether or not they want to let their kids have these kinds of games that are meant for older audiences. Like the M-rated games are 17 and up. The teen-rated games are 13 and up. E10 is 10 and up, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're if you're going to buy a game like Call of Duty for your 5-year-old kid, you're going to take the responsibility on that. However, I don't believe at all that video games have anything to do with the reason people will go out and want to commit mass shootings at schools or any kind of other violence.
Yeah. Actually, one of the kids from this, it's a CNN interviewed a student from the school who did not hold back in his response, and he said that he was a senior student, and he said, "It's just a really pathetic excuse on behalf of the president. I grew up playing video games like Call of Duty and other first-person shooters, and I would never, ever dream of taking the lives of any of my peers. It's just pathetic."
I used to play a lot of first-person games, especially Doom and Painkiller, the really violent ones. Where
Those
you
are some good fucking
shoot people's
shooters.
heads off and then give them. And I would never even want to hold a gun in real life.
See, I learned how to shoot in real life when I was 7. But it doesn't mean I want to go out and go to fucking Walmart and try to pretend I'm playing Bulletstorm, take a double-barrel shotgun to somebody's back and see if their body explodes into 6 different pieces.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just going to say that I'd sooner kill myself than kill anyone else.
I actually agree with Sean on this one. Now, apparently, according to Polygon, Trump was actually much harsher on films than he was on video games. Which is, I find kind of weird, to be honest with you. Just because, more often than not, people cite the interactivity of a video game as being worse than the passivity of a movie.
Right.
So I think that's a little weird. But anyway, my opinion is basically like this. I do think that we need stricter. I wouldn't say we need stricter control on video games themselves. I don't necessarily think that they're the problem, but I do think that we need a better rating system than what the ESRB currently gives. Have you guys seen the PEGI rating system from Europe?
I'm familiar with it, but I don't know as much of what their ratings are, for the age-wise.
Okay, I'm gonna take a look at the age rating because I know that there's more of them.
Yeah, I know there's PEGI 16, PEGI 13. There's a lot.
Yeah, so there's 3, 12, 16, 18. So, and then they've also got these little icons that are sex, violence, online gaming, gambling, fear, which I don't even know what the fuck that's supposed to mean, drugs, discrimination, and bad language. I
mean, we have those listed on our games, too.
We do, but they're different. The ones that we have are, mild violence, I don't know what the fuck mild fantasy violence means.
Mild fantasy violence is, just...
No blood.
I think against, monsters. And,
okay, that makes sense.
Yeah. Sonic games actually say mild fantasy violence on them.
Mario has mild fantasy violence, because you're stomping mushrooms' heads and kicking turtles around.
So does Doom count as mild fantasy violence?
No, I think
Doom is extreme fantasy violence.
I was just going to say that.
Ultra fantasy violence.
Now, I have a couple of tweets here in this article as well, and I quote from CNN 7 hours ago. At a meeting on school safety, President Trump says violence in video games and movies is responsible for shaping young people's thoughts. We have to do something about maybe what they're seeing. And in response, they quoted a school shooting survivor.
A survivor of the shooting. And I already mentioned this, but basically he says that, they're just shifting the blame on this.
Yeah, exactly. And you know why? Because it's so much easier to push the blame on something or someone else than it is to actually do something about it.
Yeah.
Well, basically, here's how I see it, is the PEGI rating system is better, in my opinion. Where, though they do kind of correlate to some extent, where it's like, ages 3 and 7 are like they're like early childhood, which never gets used.
Yeah, right? Why did they even come up with that? Like they have the early childhood one, but then they have E for everyone. Isn't that like the same thing?
Apparently early childhood says that there's no material that can be considered offensive by parents, whereas everyone says that it's everyone 6 and over, which contains minimal cartoon, fantasy, or mild violence, or infrequent use of mild language.
See, I guess it's because of the games I grew up with playing it back in the day. I guess I never...
Slapstick humor, I guess.
I guess I never understood the difference because, I grew up when I was 4 years old, started playing Mortal Kombat. Right around the time the ESRB actually was created.
Huh, that's interesting.
So, guys, watch out. I might show up, Sean, I might show up at your house and I might sodomize you with a broomstick and try to rip your spine out through your asshole.
I welcome it. I fucking welcome it. So
but
if you're
can you
not
do it in
gonna
less
do
than
it,
5 minutes?
can you? First of all,
Can you do it in the 5 minutes it's going to take him to bust a nut when you do it?
He won't know whether he's coming or going.
stop.
He'll be coming all right.
Stop.
Oh my
I hate
god.
you all.
All right, so
Don't you love me?
from one political catastrophe to another, this leads into the second part of this bullshit.
Basically,
A Rhode Island representative calls for a special tax on video game violence. Violent video games.
what he wants is a 10% tax on games that are rated M or AO sold in his state. Now, I've never seen an AO game in my life.
I've seen only like 2, and one game got changed back to M.
Oh, it was San Andreas, right?
Yes.
Yeah, okay, that's fair. But it basically just says that what he wants to do with this money is he wants to put it into a special fund for school districts to support counseling, mental health programs, and other conflict resolution activities. Now, what I find interesting... Okay, first of all, this is from PC Gamer. And the way they wrote it, I'm going to give them a little bit of shit for this. The way they wrote it is inherently biased, which is fair. Because, they're a gaming publication. Of course they're going to have some bias. But what it says here is, there's evidence that children exposed to violent video games at a young age tend to act more aggressively than those who are not, said this guy. I don't know how to pronounce his last name. Nardolio? Nerdololo? I don't know how to pronounce it, but it says here, without citing any supporting evidence. The bill would give schools the additional resources needed to help students deal with that aggression in a positive way. Our goal is to make every school in Rhode Island a safe and calm place for students to learn. By offering children resources to manage their aggression today, we can ensure a peaceful tomorrow. It says here that he said the tax is necessary because First Amendment protection means states cannot legally ban the sale of violent video games to minors, and so he claims the only way to address issues like this is to raise awareness and allocate funds. Now, apparently, it says here that there is evidence of a link between violent video games and aggressive behavior, but the question of what that means is far from settled, because correlation does not equal causation.
That's what I always say.
I mean, again, that's what the rating system is for.
Yep.
We can't blame the parent for buying their kid Grand Theft Auto, and then the kid is like 16 years old and mows someone down with their car. You gonna blame Grand Theft Auto? No, you blame the parent that bought Grand Theft Auto for the underage kid.
Like it says here that the APA, the American Psychological Association, noted in 2015 that different approaches to research and a lack of precision in terminology has resulted in a debate about the actual effect of video games. According to them, all violence, including lethal violence, is considered aggression, but not all aggression is violence, which is true. I would argue that that is true.
Yeah.
Now, basically, there's also a question of causality, such that a Western Michigan University associate professor of sociology stated in 2016 that the reported connection between the factors could indicate that kids inclined to be aggressive are more likely to play violent video games than those who are not, which is true. Again, I can see that being true, but that doesn't mean that the video games in question make them more violent. Yeah. So, anyway, that's the end of that article. My opinion on this matter is basically, like, I really don't... I think he's trying to do a good thing. I think his heart's in the right place, but I don't necessarily think that he understands what he's doing.
Exactly. You don't need to tax violent video games.
No, because the thing is, right, if the idea is... The point is that he wants to raise funds to help kids with aggression issues or mental health problems,
fine.
Which I think is perfectly fine. But the problem then becomes, why should anyone who plays these that is a normal person have to suffer as a result? Like
I'm 21. I'll be 22 soon. I'm not gonna shoot up a school anytime soon. I shouldn't be penalized to buy fucking Call of Duty, even though I wouldn't in my right mind, just because of, shitty parents buying...
Why would he buy Call of Duty in a right mind?
Yeah, right.
Right, but you get what I'm saying? Like, I shouldn't be punished just because of these dumb parents buying kids games they shouldn't be playing.
Well, I think part of it is the parents giving kids the access to it, but I also think part of it is, like, I really do think that it has something to do with the way kids are as well. Like, the sociologist who said that aggressive kids are more likely to play violent video games, to me that begs a question of whether that helps them manage their aggressive tendencies or not.
I know it helps me manage my aggressiveness. Like, if
I was going to say, like, I play fighting games and, like, Dynasty Warriors and, what else? And I occasionally play Halo now, just because, like, I find that helps me de-stress. And I wonder if it's the same for kids who might be aggressive. Like, if their aggressive tendencies are slightly better because they play video games, not slightly worse because they have an outlet for that aggression.
Yeah, I bet Hitler likes Call of Duty.
You know it.
Hitler also breathed oxygen. Did you know that?
Yeah.
See, like...
I only breathe
Hitler
CO2.
also had a mustache. So if you have facial hair, you're basically Hitler.
I mean, I shave quite often, so fuck you, Sean.
Hitler also
I
only
don't,
had one
because-
ball.
I'm pretty fond of my beard.
But, like, seriously, though, like, I've played Mortal Kombat for over 20 fucking years. Going back to this point again, right? If I'm in a bad mood, like, if something really pissed me off, or, like, I'm in a shitty mood and I know I'm gonna feel like an asshole for the entire day, I'll put in a game. I'll put in, like, Mortal Kombat or a shooter, of any kind that I have at my disposal. And let me tell you something, even if I'm in a good mood, if you give me a game where I can rip somebody's arms off and beat somebody over the head with them, I'm a happy guy. It doesn't mean I enjoy seeing that in real life.
Yeah, it's like, part of it is like those kids who are like, oh, I could fucking kill you because I play COD. It's like, no, you can't.
Yeah, right?
It's not like Call of Duty is going to train someone to go out and shoot a gun. It really doesn't. It's
more giving us a view into the life of a military guy, not like training us to fucking kill people.
But
to an extent,
yeah. I see what you mean. Yeah, it's like I for one think that it's a case where the game does not tell you to go out and shoot people. Like, playing Hatred, as fucking awful as Hatred is, like, in terms of not in terms of its subject matter, because I couldn't give a shit.
Yeah,
Gameplay.
But as a gameplay,
it's a terrible
Yeah.
game.
in terms of gameplay, as awful as Hatred is, I highly doubt anybody's going to go out and just be like, I'm going to kill as many people as possible today.
I mean, that's kind of
bad taste.
I mean, that's kind of what that freaking that Vegas shooter did a few months ago at that concert.
like psychologically speaking, these people were people who were already kind of fucked up in the first place.
Yeah, exactly. Look at the guy that did the school shooting last week. He was mentally challenged, and people knew that. And somehow how he legally acquired that gun, they even knew he was mentally challenged, and they still sold it to him anyway.
Like, I really think that the two things that we need stronger gun legislation,
right?
Such that people, because the way I see it is nobody wants a blanketed ban on guns in the States. I don't think it's a realistic idea.
No, we don't need it. You know, people, whenever this shit happens, people cry, "Take away the guns! Take away the guns! Take away the guns!"
But it's like, but the thing is, in my opinion, that's not going to cut down on gun-related violence.
Right? No, because the people will still find a way to get them.
Yeah, it's kind of like what I was going to say is that what I think needs to happen is you need to have stricter gun controls, not a ban, but you need to have like better background checks, better like, is this guy like mentally ill, etc. But you also need to make sure that, especially in schools, you need to have people who are armed, not armed to the teeth. Like, I'm not going to say, you give the teacher an AR-15 and go, hey, if your students are in trouble, go shoot a guy to death.
I just saw an article the other day too that said, what school was it? There's going to be a school that was going to start allowing teachers to be armed. In a way, I think that's also a bad thing, because what if a teacher has a bad day and decides to just go fucking ape shit with their freaking, with their gun rights in a classroom?
What is 1 + 1? 3? Wrong.
But then that begs the question of like, teachers need better background checks too.
Right. I think everybody does.
Yeah, I do. Honestly, I think that if you're the kind of person that really doesn't like working with kids, you shouldn't be a teacher. Some people just should not be teachers. But
like, if you fucking made me a teacher, that's the worst fucking decision in your goddamn life.
Funny thing is, I can do the teaching part of being a teacher. It's the dealing with children and their fucking stupid questions that I can't deal with.
Exactly.
I just can't deal with people. I fucking hate people.
Me too.
I mean, I don't hate people, but I have a very low tolerance for people.
But getting back to my point, what I think what should honestly happen is, instead, they should have a higher tax on guns, depending on whatever the caliber of the weapon is, and then use that money to hire security forces for schools. And I don't mean like you need a SWAT team. I mean like maybe you just need like 2 guys that are licensed to carry weapons.
Like,
I mean, that's already the norm in Texas. Is teachers here already have guns.
Yeah. Like, in my high school, we had 2 or 3 cops with visible firearms. Like, one guy, I mean, I don't know why. I mean, it's fucking Minnesota. It's not like we're fucking insane up here. But, like, one guy had, like, an assault rifle while 2 guys had pistols. But, like,
yeah,
they were armed, and you knew they were armed. But, I mean, I was in a fucking small-town high school.
And I honestly think that's a good idea.
Mm-hmm.
Where you have someone who's trained and knows how to use a firearm, and, like, knows how to actually use it. I don't just mean, like, they know how to shoot somebody in the face, but, like, they know gun safety.
Yeah, like, anyone can shoot someone. Like, you just pull the trigger.
Yeah, they need to be people who, like, are responsible with their weapon, they know gun safety, and they're at least decently aware, such that if something happens, they can ensure the safety of the students.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think the problem is the problem is slightly stricter access to guns, but also slightly stricter security.
Yeah, because, like, for instance, today at work, any fucking wackadoo can get a gun like my boss. Fucking, I was at, just, sitting at the fucking break room, having lunch, and my boss comes in, he's fucking talking about work, whatever, not really paying attention, and then he's like, well, time to go get me a Serbian AK. I was like, excuse me? Out of the fucking blue, too. And after the story I said earlier, they can let any fucking wackadoo buy a goddamn gun.
Oh, yeah.
Even if he fuck rocks, Don't fucking matter.
Hey, listen, if he
Motherfucker.
fucks the rocks, he's probably not going to shoot people. He's probably just going to try to put his dick in the fucking barrel of the gun.
Well, he'll shoot at the rocks to make a hole out of it.
Then he'll fuck the hole.
Yeah.
That's Serbian AK.
No wonder he bought an AK rifle. Guaranteed to make a hole.
So, but to bottom line this, you don't need to cry. Take the guns away. Take the guns away. It's not going to solve anything. Guns don't kill people.
Also,
Video games don't kill people. Only
kill
virtually. People kill people.
Well, we're not even killing people in the games. We're killing data and ones and zeros. They're not real people. They look like people, sure, but they're not actually people.
Well, yeah,
It's
that's
true.
why I said virtual. Virtually.
Yeah.
But what I was going to say regarding this is, one of the people that I know was like, well, Australia has very strict gun control, and there hasn't been a mass shooting since. And it's like, I'm sure they do. I don't know what Australia's like, but I know that culturally, Australia and the United States are extremely different. It's like culturally, the U.S. and Japan are very different, and Japan has very strict gun control as well.
Yeah.
I mean, the entire country of Australia is trying to kill you, so I don't think adding guns to the mix really helps either. But it could be self-defense against the entire country that's trying to kill you.
That's
I
true.
don't know.
But what I was going to say is that basically, because those places are culturally different from the U.S., and because part of the U.S.'s Constitution says that you have the right to bear arms, it's like trying to compare apples and oranges.
Mm-hmm.
I prefer orange.
I don't like apples myself.
So to move on here from the political bullshit into some real gaming news.
Into the gaming bullshit.
Let's start by talking about the new PSN services, browser-based services. It's called My PlayStation, which is a browser-based PSN service. Sony Interactive Entertainment announced the launch of My PlayStation, a new browser-based social destination that allows fans to access and engage with key PSN features on PC, Macs, and mobile devices. The PlayStation blog shared...
Now, 60% more than sub.
The PlayStation blog shared details on what the new service offers, starting with the list of some of the key features you can do. You can, on My PlayStation service, you can find friends, you can edit your profile, you can view yours and your friends' trophies, so you can view trophies and compare them just like on console. You can send and manage friend requests as well as send messages. So pretty much anything you can do besides accessing the PlayStation Store, you can do on this browser-based PSN service.
You can actually access the PlayStation Store online as well, but not through this service.
Right, yeah. The PlayStation Store is, right off of the PlayStation website. This, I believe, is something different.
I got a question.
Slightly
How is
different.
it any better than the app that you can get on a smartphone?
Now, I've never used the PlayStation app, so I cannot... I don't have any opinions on it.
I use
You
the
can do all that on the
PlayStation app on the daily, more or less. That sounds identical. If anything, since you can't access the store, it sounds less.
Really? I might just download
Yeah,
that
you can do all
PlayStation
that
app
on
right
the
now.
app.
And currently,
Yeah.
My PlayStation browser system is currently working for most web browsers, and the website is now live to check out. Sony
They
will
plan to add more stuff in the future.
Right, yeah, they will add more features to My PlayStation on a
Make it,
regular
like,
basis.
Give us an
So,
incentive to actually use it, because the description of that, I have no reason to use it. I have the app.
Yeah, I'm downloading the app right now.
I don't even use the app. I just go on my console, because I'm, usually...
Well, I mean, if I'm
on
on
it.
my PlayStation, yes, I will use my PlayStation itself.
Yeah.
Well, I don't have internet currently, so the app is how I stay connected.
Well, yeah, there's that too.
Fair enough.
So, Cipher, I'm gonna
It's
have you
necessary.
take the reins on this one as well. Metal Gear Survive
Is that-
makes you...
I kind of...
I'm going to let you take the reins on this one as well. Metal Gear Survive makes you pay for additional saves and characters.
Oh, I've heard about this. Okay, so basically, Metal Gear Survive is a piece of shit.
It is.
It has a heavy use of microtransactions. Jim Sterling recently did a video on it that was
Yeah,
actually
I saw
really
that
fucking
video.
good.
It was actually shit.
It looked awful. So basically, Metal Gear Survive is $50 US at launch, which means
That was
that it's
$50 bucks.
that's what it says here. It costs. Oh wait, some of the microtransactions cost as much as $50.
What?
Yeah, it's
It
pretty
ain't
bad.
even worth shit. It looks like
It says
looks
here.
like an indie game.
Right? Every character that you want to make costs 1,000 in-game currency. So, like, if I have my first character and I want to make another, it's going to cost me 1,000 in-game currency, which is a minimum of $10.
So how long do you need to grind 1,000 in-game currency?
We are about to find out. I don't think it actually says here.
No, I don't think it does, to be honest. But
No,
given
it
the
doesn't.
fact that it's a
Frankly,
microtransaction, it's
who
probably
cares?
take a while.
Like, who's actually... I mean, the concept, yes, I'm upset at the concept. That's dumb. Why are you making me pay to fucking save my game twice?
Well, that's why we're going over this. Imagine if Monster Hunter did that.
Oh my god, don't you fucking start.
shit. No.
I only have one character. I'm not restarting.
That's the only
No.
that's the only game I think is Capcom saving grace from their stupid shit.
But, like, yes, if it were in other games, it'd be fucking insane. Like, imagine playing any sort of long-winded JRPG. I'd blow my fucking brains out. But, like, who cares that this isn't fucking Metal Gear Survive? Who's actually buying Survive and is actually upset? Because
Yeah.
I didn't fucking know it came out. I found out today that it came out. Like,
Yeah,
this game came out? Who cares?
Who cares?
But the concept is terrible. What if
Hashtag fuck Konami, because fuck that goddamn company and everything it stands for.
I agree there? But what if this concept takes off and it ends up in other games?
Oh, it won't. I mean, fucking loot boxes are in such an uproar right now, and a lot of people are considering, I mean, even though that makes so much money, they're considering banning them. It's not gonna happen. But, like,
Yeah.
this is way more than just loot boxes. This is locking me out of a basic game function for $10. No, fuck you.
I already
I'm gonna play a
paid
different
60
game.
for your piece of shit game.
Right?
Now you're
Like,
gonna make me
I
pay
already
more to
made
save it?
doing that. Fucking Jesus.
So what are y'all opinions on this? Like, so the fact that I'm not just talking about that it's in this game, I'm talking about like the concept of this in general. Like, it sucks.
This, well, I think certain MMOs make you do this, so it's not terribly new.
I can agree to that. I played Guild Wars 2 for a very long time after I was done with WoW, my in-between phase between WoW and Final Fantasy XIV. You have... It has ever since I bought it, it has gone free to play. Currently, the model is, if you are free to play, you get one character slot. If you are pay to play, or just buy like the one-time, because it's a one-time subscription thing, unlike usual MMOs, you get 4 character slots, I think, and then you can use in-game diamonds or gems to buy up to 3 more.
Okay.
So it's not a new concept, but it's an MMO. It's different. There he just fucking disappears. He's back.
Just dropped out. Shit.
He's back.
I just accidentally clicked on something I wasn't supposed to.
It's not a new concept, but for an MMO, it's different. Like, you're expected to have that one character for a long time. They're not expecting you to make a lot of different alts and like, oh, I'm gonna have 7 characters. What's the point? You're wasting your time.
Yeah.
Like, having one character slot in some shitty fucking, I don't even know. I know it's multiplayer, but whatever. I so don't care about this game.
Me neither.
Like, having
Yeah.
one save file, I don't know if that's a big deal or not, but like locking me out of the ability to save. Like, I get it, in like
Well-
the fucking 80s, we didn't have the ability to save, so it wasn't a big deal.
Yeah. Well, I'm curious as to how many save slots you get. Like, does the game just auto-save and give you the one slot, or is it like...
I
Because I
think
know it says every character is essentially an additional save slot.
so. I think you only get the one. It sounds like.
Yeah, I'm assuming that's the case. But, like, to me, that's bullshit.
Yeah.
I know that it's nothing new, but I think that it's nothing new, but it's been taken to its logical extreme, and that's what I don't like. I think that this game's existence in general sets a very terrifying precedent for what Konami is like actually capable of.
But how many people are actually gonna like fall? Because again, I'm gonna fucking speak for the vast majority of people in the gaming industry. A lot of people aren't buying this game, or if let me rephrase that: people who know that it's not a Kojima game are not buying it.
No,
People
that's
who
true.
Don't know are gonna Metal Gear. Oh, I love Metal Gear.
I mean, how would people not know that it's not Kojima by this point?
Because they have to. Well, yeah, there's that. But like, I adore Metal Gear Solid.
Me
I
too.
have played all 5 of them. I have not beaten 5 yet because
Me neither.
there's a lot of fuck ton of content.
Yeah.
But like
a lot of it's
it
filler.
has a Kojima polish. It's a Kojima game. And now that Kojima is not there, you can see that Konami is milking the Fox engine. Konami is milking the Metal Gear name because they can't make Metal Gear anymore.
Let's be real, though, right? The Fox engine is extremely impressive, and I would argue that anything to do with the Fox engine is probably the most impressive part of that game.
Yeah.
And that experience.
Graphically, like, the graphical fidelity, it looks
it looks
nice.
great. Looks
looks
really
great.
good.
That's great. Yeah.
But that's because it's hanging off the coattails of MGS5.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that game was stunning.
Yeah. It's a great engine and all, but look at Metal Gear Survive. It's like an indie game.
I played the beta for 10, 15 minutes. Never again. Like, I was so lost. I was so bored. I was so confused. Like, I got through one wave of the fucking zombies or whatever the fuck they are. I'm just like, this is dumb.
Coneheads.
Yeah, the fucking coneheads. This is dumb. Like,
Maybe it's a Silent Hill reference.
like, people who have played Metal Gear know that, except for like Metal Gear 5, this was kind of like a different in the series. Like, it's not meant for combat. Like, I know 5 is more combat oriented, but not by a whole lot.
Yeah.
Because it's still clunky for, like, you don't go gunning down an entire camp. Like, it's all about stealth and taking them out one by one and just putting that into, like, oh yeah, there's like, because I had like 30 fucking zomboids just fucking surrounding me, and I'm just like, I can't handle this. This game cannot take care of this. Like, because in Metal Gear, like, if you've got like 4 guys surrounding you, it's overwhelming.
Yeah.
Just because of how the game is made and how the game is played. Multiply that by like 30 and have all these zombies around you and they're running around and they're fucking... It's just... And it's not even like... I'm sure there are guns. I didn't have any.
There's mostly spears, I believe.
Yeah, it's mostly like melee weapons.
Oh.
It's poking through the wall of the game. Like, a lot of the gameplay I've seen, it's just poking a spear through a fence until it breaks. Like, that's not fun.
That's not... No, that's really boring.
I don't know. I think ever since this fucking announcement, I have been so against this game. And
Me too.
I was going to play Devil's Advocate and play the beta. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to give it a shot. It's not
You
right
played
of
the
me.
beta and it was terrible, right?
I played the beta and I fucking despised it. It might be a good fucking shit fest, like for $5 to play with some friends. Be like, Lamau, we're playing Metal Gear Survive.
Yeah.
But like,
No.
I'm not paying full price, let alone $10 for this fucking game.
my roommate is going to get it because he likes Metal Gear. Not because he thinks that, like... Okay. My roommate is going to get it not because he likes Metal Gear, but because he's interested, and that makes me mad. Because he's part of the problem.
Oh, he's gonna regret it.
He's part of the problem.
Yeah.
Definitely. Like, I fucking hate Konami.
Well, from one problem to another, and going back to Arc System Works as I promised,
Oh, okay.
Dragon Ball Fighters patches have information have been revealed on them.
Yeah, they announced, I actually saw this on the subreddit, I think it was yesterday.
Yeah, it says, now that Dragon Ball Fighters is here and finding its place in the fighting game community, Bandai Namco Entertainment producer Tomoko Hiroki, she has gone over some plans for the game's near future regarding the issues. Hiroki says Bandai Namco is aware of the ring match and lobby disconnection issues. A late February patch will begin to address these problems, but may not totally fix everything at once. Additional mid and late March patches will continue to improve the situation.
I mean, I'm fucking grateful. I don't care. I mean, it's going to take them a while. Like, it's unrealistic to say, hey guys, fix this immediately.
I mean, what, the game's hasn't been out for a month yet.
So,
right?
yeah, it's a little less than a month
almost
old.
a month.
Yeah,
Yeah, because it launched around the same time as Monster Hunter.
it was the same day.
It's the same day, actually.
Yeah. So, like, you can't expect... You don't build Rome in a day, right? Like,
No.
if you've got fucking problems, especially in under a month, it takes time. And as long as they're fixing them and not just leaving them, then...
Yeah, like, I
you know
think
what?
that's
All
respectable.
for it. Yeah. It's going to take time to fix every single... I mean, they can't fix every single problem.
Yeah,
Like-
exactly.
You just can't. If you fix the big ones, like, for fighting games, like...
Connectivity is the big one for this one.
Connectivity, fucking input lag, that kind of shit. Like, that's big deal shit. You gotta fix that ASAP.
Yeah.
But, like, anything else, meh, whatever.
I really do think they should patch, like, some of the online stuff. Or not some of the online stuff, some of, like, the auto combo bullshit. Some of the balance is a little bit off, apparently. Which I
Right.
never noticed, but people have been telling me that, like, these characters are kind of OP.
Have you noticed too? Have you noticed too that if you do an ultimate on its own, it does more damage than it does in a combo?
Because there's damage scaling, that's why.
I mean, some people are kind of anal about that. Like, why does it do more damage by itself?
I'll be honest, damage
that's
scaling
a-
is a thing. It's
Yeah.
a known thing in most fighting games, where it's
Especially
like...
in Arc System.
Yeah, because it's to make the game fair.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't mind
If it
that.
was the same, like, as it was like, just normal, and then putting in a combo. Like, if it did half your health, just the normal, and then you add a combo to that, like, that's fucking bullshit.
Yeah, and I was
Yeah.
when I was talking about the Assault Bad Guys clean hit mechanic back in
Blasphemy.
Accent Core, yeah. That clean hit mechanic, the damage scaling doesn't actually work on it. So I guess that's also a reason why they removed it. So instead of scaling, instead of reducing the damage every time you take a clean hit, it goes up by a small percentage. So it basically every time you take a clean hit, it goes. It just gets worse. It just gets worse.
That's fair.
That's a common thing in fighting games that I've noticed. Like, I don't play a whole lot, but, like, in Smash Bros, for instance, that's called staling. Like, you use a move too often, it'll go stale. And
That
so
makes
it does
sense.
less damage.
Yeah, except on the clean hit, it just goes up.
Oh, so the opposite.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
the opposite effect.
So on
Yeah,
a
that's how, like, Smash Bros balances it. Like, if you can't use your single A combo too much, because then it'll just get weaker and weaker and weaker.
Yeah.
so on a side note here, is anybody interested to play as Broly or Bardock coming at some point?
Bardock, yes. Broly, I couldn't give a fuck.
I mean, I'm gonna obviously get both characters anyway because I have the season pass, so why not?
Well, yeah, I gotta buy that pretty soon.
But speaking of adding stuff, this is going to be the last thing we're going to talk about here for today.
Oh boy.
Emily Rogers from a Nintendo investigator is reporting that Nintendo will
importing.
Nintendo will announce and release a Smash Brothers game for the Switch this year.
Boy.
She says that Nintendo plans to release a Super Smash Brothers title this year for the Nintendo Switch. The game will be announced this year and will release possibly by this holiday. Nintendo has apparently added brand new content to the game, as well as reworking some of the assets from the Wii U and 3DS ports.
However, we don't know if it's a sequel or a deluxe, like some kind of definitive edition, according to a tweet that she sent out.
And she said, and I quote, "I can only confirm two things. One, a Smash Bros. Title will be announced and released for Switch later this year. Two, they added brand new content and reworked some of the existing Wii U and 3DS content." She was later contacted about these claims, and she has said in another statement, "To clarify, I never said whether it was a sequel or a port. I only said they've been preparing an announcement for a Smash Bros. Game on the Switch. I don't know whether it is a sequel or a deluxe definitive port." Okay. So apparently this is more than a rumor. It sounds like it's going to happen.
Yes, I hope it does. I really do. Like, what I would have preferred, though, if I'm honest, is that you get Smash for the Switch, and then they just put in this shit as, like, free content updates. If it's a deluxe edition, that's what I hope that's what I wish they would do instead, if they're doing a deluxe version of Smash 4.
Well, I think what they can do is, for the Switch version, if it's going to be a DX version like Pokken Tournament got and Mario Kart got, I think they could take both elements of the Wii U and 3DS ports and put it all in one game and make it a bigger title.
See, I've been saying this ever since launch of the Switch. They need to scrap Smash Tour. Get fucking rid of that garbage. Nobody played that.
I didn't like it either.
Put in Smash Run, because that was gold.
Oh, from Melee? Smash Run was fucking awesome.
From the 3DS version.
Oh.
I mean, yeah, even, like, I don't know why they cut... I know Subspace Emissary and Brawl took, like, all of their time and effort, hence why Brawl is the weakest link of the Smash series.
Although you gotta admit, that story mode was kind of cool.
That story mode was fucking awesome. Okay, so that story mode's really cool, but I do think that most of the gameplay in that isn't very good.
Oh, no.
The cinematics are really cool.
Yes.
But also, the reason Brawl was the weakest link was not because of that, it was because Sakurai was tired of seeing people get salty over Melee. He's like, this is not a competitive fighting game, don't play it like it is one.
Yeah.
And I gotta be honest, I don't blame him, because I fucking hate the Melee, like the competitive Melee guys who are like, I need my controller that is one of the specific ones with the factory defect so that I can do this specific technique, and it's like...
See, that's where I draw the line.
Where I come from, playing actual fighting games, not to be a cunt, Sean, because I know I like Smash too.
So I play it competitively, but yeah.
I don't. Actually, I can't, there's no one in the city who's going to play competitive fighting games with me.
Sure.
But where I come from, that is called cheating, where you use hardware to your advantage.
No, that's where I fucking draw the line, but, like, I refuse to play with a controller that isn't mine.
That's fair.
I've been using this controller since I got my fucking GameCube back in, like, fucking 2007. I don't remember when it fucking launched. Like, I know the feel, I know the weight, I know all of it. And using a different controller, it fucks with me. Like, it's a mental thing.
It's a psychological thing, yeah. But the way this... Okay, I'm going to tell you two stories. The first
is fucked up, yeah.
The first is I think there was a guy, and it might have been at Marvel or something, like at a Marvel tournament, where he's like, I can't play because I need my arcade stick. Because he was used to the weight.
Mm-hmm.
And that's fair. Because that's not an altered thing. It's just like, oh, it's the same arcade stick that everybody else is using, but mine is slightly heavier, slightly lighter.
Sure.
Whatever. Right? I don't give a shit. But then with the Smash stuff, it's like there's a specific factory defect in certain GameCube controllers that lets you do a very specific technique. Like, and there was a guy who recently dropped out of a Smash tournament because he didn't have his controller on his person.
Fine. Fuck you. Like,
but I think that's bullshit.
Yeah.
I think it's bullshit that you even would want that in the first place. Like, first of all, they shouldn't even allow you into the tournament. And second, if Melee is such, like, a big deal competitively, which I guess it is because it's at EVO every year.
Yeah.
Like, make everyone have the same playing field. Either have controllers that have that specific thing
or don't
at the ready,
or don't allow it at
I would
all.
honestly prefer that you don't.
Because I'm
'Cause
not
it's
gonna
bullshit.
fucking go out and get this fucking factory defect one just so I can be better. Like, that's
Exactly.
fucking... It's a pay-to-win kind of bullshit.
Yeah, it's cheating. That's what it is. It's fucking cheating.
And if you're in a tournament and winning money, pay to win, to an extent, shouldn't be part of the equation whatsoever. Like,
Get good, bro.
I've been in a lot of Smash tournaments, and I know I am not that good. I mean, I'm better than, your average person, just because I've been playing it since I was fucking 5 years old. But,
Me too.
yeah. But, like, you should not... If I lose, it should be because he's better than me. Not because, oh yeah, my fucking controller can rumble 3 times faster than yours. I know that's not
It's a
fucking
red
thing.
controller, that's why.
Yeah. But, like, that shouldn't be part of the equation. It should be, he is more skilled than me, and that's it. Or I fucked up one of the two.
Let me just look at the fucking story from Compete. It says here that Adam Lindgren, one of the 5 gods of competitive Smash Melee, dropped out due to a controller that isn't malfunctioning properly.
What a fucking loser.
Malfunctioning properly.
What a fucking cocksucker.
Basically,
What a dick.
what it is it's some Melee players opt to use controllers that are technically malfunctioning in order to execute otherwise impossible moves on a standard controller. Since Melee is a 16-year-old game for the GameCube, there's no possibility for patching certain bugs or exploits, so controllers have been one method for pros to consistently execute certain moves.
That's fucking...
And it says here there's a bug in Melee that only technically malfunctioning controllers can avoid. Malfunctioning is rare, volatile, and causes other issues. Due to this being a necessary criterion, as long as we don't employ Smash Turn Fix code, only 1 to 3% of GameCube controllers are viable for players, since that's how few have said malfunctioning to a different degree. The amount and type of PODE, I don't know what the fuck that stands for, can change at any time, so at the moment the comparatively best GameCube controllers are inherently unreliable. The only way around this is by employing Smash Turn Fix code or using controllers with digital buttons to dash slash analyzer chips, whatever the fuck that means. In other words, because the thing they're trying to do is called a dash back or backdash, depending on your jargon.
Wave
And it's
dashing.
basically
No, that's
because
different.
Oh, that's different. Okay.
Yeah.
backdashing is not normal in Smash. It's a very useful move in competitive, but executing the input consistently can be difficult if your controller has excessive snapback. Basically, the analog stick vibrates slightly after moving from an outer position to a neutral position in the center. Now, what this means is basically your controller is malfunctioning so that you can do a technique easier, which is fucking cheating.
Exactly.
I really don't care if people give us shit for this. I consider that to be cheating.
No, I agree completely. I adore Smash, and I'm super into the competitive scene. Not nowadays, because whatever. But I fucking despise the toxicity and more or less cancer of high-rank Smash play.
So did Sakura. That's why Brawl is is anti-competitive,
Yeah,
which I think is its own problem. Don't get me wrong.
true.
I think Sakurai took it a little too far.
Mechanically a bad game. Compared to all the other Smashes, Brawl is just, why the fuck would you put tripping in a goddamn fighting game? Fuck you.
Yeah,
Yeah, I was annoyed, dude.
I agree. I think that that was not a viable solution. There is no viable solution. One, because they're a community that sprang up around the game, and altering the game is just going to make them go back to the previous iteration of it.
And they did that with
Like,
Project
Melee
M.
is still the quote-unquote definitive, competitive one. Because I would bring my Wii U to these Smash tournaments that I go to sometimes to do a Melee tournament. We also had a Project Melee tournament and
Cool.
A Smash 4 tournament. Fuck Brawl.
Fuck
We had
Brawl.
one Brawl tournament, and that was just a fucking travesty. But, no one would play Smash 4 because it was different. Oh, this is too floaty, or, if someone's not as good or whatever. Like,
Well, to be fair though, right? Although I will agree, I'm currently in my bathroom and I'm going to mute myself. But I will say this: if you've been playing Melee since it released, however many years ago, it's going to feel a little bit weird to go on to Smash 4,
Sure.
especially if
But
you're playing competitively.
but then saying like, oh, Smash 4 is a bad game because it's not Melee. Well, no,
Yeah,
fuck
that's
you.
bullshit.
Smash 4 is a fantastic game, and Melee is still a pretty damn good game. Like, it has held up very well.
So
But there are some things in Melee that I just don't like as much as, like, if I have to pick, like, if I'm gonna pick any Smash, it's fucking PM. I love PM. It's my favorite. Just because it's a mod and it takes the best of, like, all of the Smashes.
Fair.
But, like, if I have to pick one legally, because PM is technically illegal, Smash 4 is my favorite.
Yeah, I was going to say that the equivalent is like I play a lot of fighting games as well. So I played. I bought the third and fourth BlazBlue games together. Like I bought Continuum Shift or not Continuum Shift, Chrono Phantasma Extend and Central Fiction together because I skipped over CPE. And what they did with the balancing in those two games really pisses me off compared to Continuum Shift.
It's a lot
But-
faster than the previous games.
They feel faster, which is good. I just think that the way the characters have been balanced is really shitty. But part of that is me being salty because they nerfed my main.
Yeah, there's that. There's always that.
Like, I'm just like, oh, Jin doesn't have as much combo potential as he used to. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, it doesn't even have his, what do you call that? There was his C-spam. What do you call that again?
Which C-spam?
Back in Continuum Shift and, the first one, he used to have when you spam C, there's the repetitive slash.
I think they kept... No, I'm pretty sure they kept that in.
have to
Probably because
look.
I don't. Yeah, probably because I don't.
Sekajin is the name of the move.
Sekajin? No.
Sekajin.
Oh, okay.
There's no I in it.
Oh, okay, Sekajin. I don't know. I'm not a Jin main.
I am.
So let's bottom line this podcast. If this is a DX port or a sequel, what new stuff would you want to see in it? Like, what characters that we didn't get before would you want to see in it? What kind of, like, maybe a story mode or single player modes would you want to see? And would you want to see 8-player Smash online?
Oh, fuck no, that would be a mess.
I think that would be a mess. I think that would be really difficult to keep
That's
running
fucking
smoothly.
net code with 8 people. Fuck no.
However, I will say that one thing I would like to see personally is I want to see more first or third party characters. Like, I want to see them do like another voting contest for
Dude,
third
I
party
want
characters.
Snake back. Fuck, I loved Snake and
Did they
Brawl.
not put Snake in Smash 4?
No.
No, he wasn't.
I haven't looked at the roster. I just know that they put Bayonetta in it.
Yeah, she's not in Smash 4. Snake isn't.
God damn it. Is Sonic at least in Smash 4?
Sonic
Yes,
is, yeah.
Sonic is a staple now.
That's fair.
But what I want, as I said earlier, I want maybe a less emphasis on Smash Tour, but like it was so bad, I hated it. I want Smash Run, like, because I loved Smash Run in the 3DS version. I played the fuck out of it, and seeing that in HD or whatever, fuck yeah, put that in my Switch version.
Pardon me for asking, because I've not played it, but what's the difference?
So, how do I explain this? Smash Tour is more or less a fucking board game, and you go around a board collecting items for the
really
last fight.
Yeah,
It's really boring.
It's like fucking shitty Mario Party.
and
Okay,
you
so I've
don't
seen-
get to choose your
then-
characters either.
Then I've seen Smash Run. I've seen Smash Run because Maximilian did a stream of it once.
If you've played Kirby Air Ride and did
I
City
love Kirby Air
Trial,
Ride.
it's City Trial, but just Smash Brothers.
So
And-
City Trial, but shit.
No, it's good. It's real fun.
I thought you said... Wait, I thought
No,
you said Smash
Smash
Run was
Tour-
the shit.
Smash Tour is garbage.
Okay.
Smash Run is fantastic.
I see.
So I want Smash Run in the fucking Switch version or whatever.
Why not both? Test both.
That's why I'm saying, like, maybe less emphasis on tour.
Yeah.
Because it's a shitty Mario. If I want to play Mario Party, I'll play Mario.
Yeah, that's
Mario
fair.
Party. He cut out. On my end, at least.
Basically, he said that if he wants to play Mario Party, then he'll go out and buy Mario Party.
Yeah. Basically, like, if you want to talk characters, I would maybe want to see... Like, we have Mega Man now in the games. Like, why don't we put Zero in the game? I think Zero could be a pretty
Simon
cool
fucking
character.
Belmont.
No.
Oh, yeah, I'd want to
Go
see
back
that.
to the NES days, my friend, when Castlevania was Nintendo exclusive.
That's
Give
fair.
us Simon Belmont.
Yeah, that's true. You know, put him in. I would like to see Zero in it from Mega Man. Less Fire Emblem, please. We already got about, 7 of those
Okay,
characters?
but
What do we have? Isn't it like
I agree.
Chrom, Lucina, Robin?
Marth,
No, not Crom, Marth.
Oh.
Ike.
While I agree, Fire Emblem is as big as Mario now, technically. And it is technically, yes. And there's millions of characters. I don't like that it's just flooded with them, because
There's more
3 or
Fire
4
Emblem
of them
characters than there
the
are
exact
Mario
same
characters.
character. But, like,
Yeah, I agree.
Being a fan of Fire Emblem myself, I love Fire Emblem. I understand, to an extent, why there's so many, because there's been 10 Fire Emblem games,
Give us
each
Lynn.
with a roster... No, fuck Lynn. We need more Roy.
Fuck you!
fuck
No.
Roy.
No. Get rid of Lucina and put Lynn in the game. Fuck you.
That's fine.
Yes.
But,
Good man.
there's
Final
like a
Fantasy, that's
roster of 30 characters, give or take, in every Fire Emblem game.
Yeah.
Now, I don't like that it's just... I guess, not with Smash, but I know, like, I know this is a side tangent, but, like, what upset me with, like, Fire Emblem Heroes, it was all just, like, 2 Fire Emblem games, even though there's 10 of them, you know?
Yeah, it was like, you get, like, Awakening and Shadow Dragon, right?
Yeah. And, Fates.
So 3.
Oh, yeah, because those are the popular ones.
But, like, I would love to see something, like, okay, Fire Emblem Echoes, the remake of Fire Emblem Gaiden, or Fire Emblem 2.
Yeah.
Put in Alm, or Celica, because they're not well known. Get rid of Marth, fuck Marth.
Overrated.
Yeah.
I honestly think Marth, having played Fire Emblem Warriors and having played a bit of Shadow Dragon, is so fucking boring and generic for, like, a protagonist in that setting.
Yes.
Like,
The lore
Ike,
behind
Lynn,
it
any of his
is cool.
characters. Yeah, the lore behind him is cool, but he himself is always portrayed
Yeah.
as, like, generic fantasy main character, and it's boring.
Dude, ever since I unlocked Lynn in Warriors, I pretty much don't play as anyone else anymore.
I mean,
That's fair. I haven't even unlocked her, because
let's be real, the sole reason I didn't get Warriors in is because Roy's not in it. I'm gonna be fucking straight up.
The problem that I have with Warriors is that Warriors likes to... Can we talk about Warriors for a second?
Sean's a salty squid.
Yes!
Okay.
Roy is
Warriors?
my boy.
Roy's our boy. We
Roy's
like
our
Ike.
boy.
Well, hold on a second, because we're going to run out of time here. My camera's about to cut off. So-
Shit. Okay.
Well, we can continue talking afterwards, because I'm going to stream Bulletstorm, but...
Okay, cool.
Yeah, so general consensus, I'd be down for Smash Run in an HD thing, and I'm not sure if I want new characters, because the roster's fucking insane already. Maybe better balancing, but they already balanced the fuck out of it. Get rid of Bayonetta. I fucking hate Bayonetta. She's bullshit.
Why?
I don't think she
Look,
needed
you
to
don't-
be in
you
the
don't
game.
play it competitively.
No, I don't. What the fuck's the deal with Bayo?
She's brokenly overpowered and can kill you at 0% from just fucking whatever. She
That's
can look
bullshit.
at you and you're dead.
I mean, she's pretty hot. I mean, I would die too.
Ew, she's fucking
I love
old hag.
That's why I would buy Switch just for that.
Well, to
Yeah,
bottom
Sean
line,
just-
Well, that and Odyssey, I would buy a Switch for Odyssey and Bayonetta 1, 2, and 3. Even though I played
Fair
one on PS2.
well, to bottom line this podcast, guys, you guys got any final thoughts? Anything else you want to say before we wrap this part 1 of episode 8 to a conclusion?
yeah.
It's every week. Like, have a community call every week.
I wouldn't be opposed to having more, like, the rest of the guys on the podcast more often.
Well, I mean, I'm down with it too.
As long as, like, it's easy for you to edit, I don't really care.
Yeah, I'm down with it too. I do want to start that mailbag thing eventually too. I just got to
That would be
remember
nice.
to post about
Did
it.
we put, do we have an email account for people to go to?
No, not yet.
Shit, okay. Okay, we'll make one later. I might make one, and then I'll just give us both access to it. So yeah, I think we should do this more often with the community.
Well, I did it.
think
I
that-
did it today. I did it today because episode 7 was such a shit fest. Doing it by
That's
myself.
fair.
I feel like I wanted
Yeah.
to do something a little special to start off episode 8. Follow
But I
me.
also think that with the extra commentary and opinion, that you can see more than just left or right. You can see in the middle as well.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, the format that I was originally planning for only called for like maybe 2 or 3 people total, and plus I don't know when everybody's going to be online. You know.
I'm
Which is
not
fine,
saying
'cause,
everybody
like, most
will
of us
be in
do it.
every show, but just the concept of like more than just you and Cipher every week. Maybe Cceck can be in it 1 week, and then maybe X can be in it another week, and maybe I'll
Yeah.
be in. No, I don't play as many games as y'all, but this was just a special occasion where there were 6 of us there.
Yeah. I mean, we could do that. I'm definitely not against it.
Yeah. So anyway, my final thoughts were like, we should do this more often. I'm gonna try to I'm thinking that from now on, at least once per episode, not once per part, but once per episode, I might review a fighting game that I own.
Until you run
so
out
I
of
make
games,
that-
that is.
Well, yeah, but I mean, Blaze Blue Cross Tag drops next month.
Yeah, it's true.
Unfortunately,
I might
I'm
do
going to
it.
be buying it.
Unfortunately.
So
I'm
to,
a whore.
I'm full of it.
to wrap
I'm a
this
dirty,
up,
dirty boy.
to wrap this up, guys, follow me on Facebook and Twitter. Follow me on Twitch as well. Follow the newly created Black Sakura Twitch community. Follow me on YouTube as well. Give me a subscription for more of the Game Corner podcast every week, as well as other gameplay videos throughout the week as well. Follow Black Sakura on Facebook, and check out the awesome Erin Fitzgerald on Facebook, Twitch, Twitter, and her website. All the links are in the description box down below. As always, this is what I didn't mention in the beginning of the show because we had a bit of an extended story time with extra guests.
It was like 5 minutes. Shut up.
I mean, each of us did one.
Also,
Sorry, I should say 3 of us did one.
Also, check out jotaku.net where you can read our occasional articles on anime, video games, and manga and whatnot. There was an article posted actually today, so go check that out. I think it's a pretty good read. With that being said, for Cipher, Sean, Josh over here, Jocko, and I guess you could say Cceck, because even though he didn't say a fucking word, I might as well shout him out too, because I'm not much of a dickhead like he is. My name is The Rose. Check us all out. Oh, and by the way, Sean, I misspoke earlier when I said this was your second showing on my channel. You guys could check out on my channel. I have a couple of streams for Smash Bros. Wii U where Cceck, Sean, Yori, and I actually played some 4-player Smash.
And I kicked their asses thoroughly.
And I will never forget the time during Extra Life 2015 where I lost a best of 7 series after being up 3-1 to Sean the shithead over here.
I fucking kicked your ass.
And I have never been...
Immediately, and you were so salty that you wanted to do a salty goddamn run back, and I still fucking kicked your ass. Look
Jesus,
at
bro.
it. It's amazing.
I-
Fuck you.
I broke my controller, and I've never been the same at Smash again ever since then. But until episode 8, part number 2, guys, thank you guys for joining me. My name is The Rose, and I'll catch your ass down the road.